Hi, welcome to Lesson 2 of Babette's Guide to Rhythm. My name is Babette. In this lesson, we're going to begin talking about the quarter note rest. If you recall, in the last lesson, we talked about the quarter note and we had exercises working with the quarter note with the metronome. I hope you did well with those exercises and that you played the quarter note precisely on the beat, because that's very important. It's not just enough to know what is expected, to know and understand that the quarter note should be placed precisely on the beat. It's very important that you actually do that, because when you do that, your music is going to be easier and more exciting for you and for everyone that listens to you, and that includes your family, your friends, your teacher. It's going to be easier if you're playing in a small ensemble, in an orchestra. All of those things will be much better if you learned in that lesson to play the quarter note precisely on the beat. So if you need to, please review that lesson again, because it doesn't really get easier when we add the quarter note rest. And let's talk about that now. What is the difference between the quarter note and the quarter note rest? Well, visually, there is a difference. They are designed differently. They look different to you. Also, the quarter note has sound associated with it. The quarter note rest does not have sound associated with it. So those are the differences. What is the same? Rhythmically, they are the same. There is no difference in these two rhythmically. Remember when I showed you my artistic ability in Lesson 1? Here it is again. We use this little graph to show you that the quarter note starts precisely on the beat, and then goes all the way to the next beat when the next quarter note starts. And it's the same whether the tempo is fast or slow. It's also the same for the quarter note rest. That quarter note rest is also going to start somehow precisely on the beat, and it's going to go all the way to the next beat, whether it is fast or slow. Now this is important because often students look at music and they think of the quarter note rest as nothing. They've heard the words rest and they've heard the words wait, and they associate that with the rest being nothing. So they'll play along in the song and then a rest comes and they just skip that note. They jump right over it and play the next note. But you have to count that rest just as long as you would count the quarter note. In other words, when the rest comes, you can't start your quarter note here. You have to wait all the way to here. You can't start the rest before the beat. You have to start the rest precisely on the beat. Now, we have some exercises for you to practice with the quarter note and the quarter note rest. These exercises will get progressively harder, and so you have to remember the length of the quarter note rest is exactly the same length as the quarter note. Here's our first exercise. In this exercise, each measure has 4 beats. In line 1, the quarter note rest is on beat 4, so it should sound like ta, 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 rest, ta, 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 rest. In line 2, the quarter note rest is on beat 3, so you have ta, ta, rest, ta, 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 rest, ta. In line 3, the quarter note rest is on beat 2, so you should have ta, rest, ta, 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 rest, ta, ta. And on line 4, the quarter note rest is on beat 1, so it's rest, ta, 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 rest, ta, ta, ta. Get ready to start. This first exercise is at a metronome marking of 92. Don't forget to count off 8 beats before you start. And here we go. Now let's repeat this exercise at a metronome marking of 120. Get ready to play. Do not forget to count off 8 beats. Here we go. And let's do it one more time. This will be at a metronome marking of 152. Please count off 8 beats to feel the pulse. Here we go. And here we have exercise 2. Looking at this, you can see that there are 6 lines to this exercise. Each line is a little different than the others, but every line, every measure has 2 beats of rest. That means that this is going to be a little harder for you to wait to the next measure or the next note that you play. As always, I want you to feel the pulse before you start, so do not forget to count 8 beats before you begin. Are you ready? Well, here we are at a metronome marking of 92. Let's go. And now let's go to a metronome marking of 120. Let's feel the pulse before we start and count off our 8 beats. You ready? Here we go. And lastly, let's do our metronome marking of 152 after we feel the pulse with 8 beats. So get ready and let's go. Well, let's take a look at exercise 3. You'll notice that there are 4 lines in this exercise, and in each measure there are 3 beats of rest, which means that this is potentially the hardest of these exercises because you have to wait through 3 beats before you can play your note, and that note needs to come precisely on the beat. So it's very important to really feel the pulse for those first 8 beats so that you can hit your note precisely on the beat. Now we're going to start with our metronome marking of 92, and if you're ready, we'll begin. Now we'll do this at a metronome marking of 120. Remember that each note needs to be played precisely with the beat. Remember that you should probably record yourself to see if that is happening, to see if the note you play comes precisely with the click. Okay, and let's get started at 120. Remember to count off 8 beats. Here we go. And here we are back up to a metronome marking of 152. Remember to feel the pulse with those first 8 beats. Get ready and begin. Thank you for watching this lesson, which adds the quarter note rest to the quarter note beat. As I said at the end of lesson 1 and the beginning of this lesson, please make sure that you are playing the quarter note and starting the quarter note rest precisely on the beat before you complete this lesson and proceed to the next one. It will make you a much stronger player. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.